So you mentioned Dave Seed as an artist that's influenced you. Are there any other particular ones that you got to mind or influences?
The last 10 years I've been more conscious of the what they call the golden age of illustrators. And these are all illustrators the back end of the 19th century, early part of the 20th century, when I think in tandem with the book publishing boom and kind of advances in printing techniques in the late 19th century, there was kind of a boom in illustrator books, and plenty of very good talented illustrators to kind of go around. So I mean, if I say a few names which you might recognise, like Arthur Rackham, for instance, the book illustrator, the brothers Robinson. There was Heath Robinson, who did all the weird mechanical things. I think his brother Charles Robinson was also a book illustrator. There's a raft of American illustrators like I think Norman Rockwell, Maxfield Parrish, Leon Decker, who did all these kind of book illustrations, advertising posters, magazine illustrations. And yes, some of my style, particularly my black and white style, has kind of been influenced by those. And again, going back to the Narnia books, an illustrator called Pauline Baines, who did the black and white interior illustrations for those books, and I think they're still featured in the current editions of them. I don't think they've ever been redrawn by anybody.
Brilliant.
And then during my kind of formative years, my teenage years, I used to copy lots of comic books, comics. I got into Dungeons and Dragons when I was in my mid-teens, and sort of started copying some of the illustrations of dragons and sword fighters from those books, purely to kind of flex my muscles, and I think one of the first steps in drawing is trying to copy what something else has done.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a discipline, isn't it? You've got to go through. If you don't really go through that, you don't really usually end up being that good at drawing.
And there's absolutely no harm in doing it. I was told as a child, you shouldn't copy anybody else's art. You should make it up from your own imagination, which since found out is wrong. Is that all sorts of aspiring and well-known artists use reference photos in the work. So there's nothing wrong in trying your hand at copying somebody else's, just to learn technique, just to learn structure and composition.
Definitely. Actually, I should actually withdraw that comment, because that's just an old view I had from when I was at art school. That it was always, because a lot of artists would draw from a marble face and do this and copy all the things like that. But a lot of people are extremely good at drawing who've never done that. So I just withdraw that statement. Because there'll be a lot of people who've been on this show, for example, who say, yeah, I've never done that. So what challenges have you faced in your life, and how has art helped you to overcome them?
I can think of possibly two particular periods of my life. I suppose the first one was when I was at school, particularly primary school. I was quite a quiet, introverted, shy little lad. I didn't have much of a voice. My self-confidence was quite brittle, I suppose, and I was easily discouraged by things. But it's from a very early age, people used to say to me, "Oh, you're a good drawer." And I thought, oh well, if people think I'm good at that, I'll do more of it.
Absolutely.
And it kind of helped to get me accepted, and kind of helped to find me a place. I mean, I won't elaborate, but school for me was quite tough, both primary and secondary school, and being good at drawing, and being able to draw, being asked to draw things for other people in lessons, that kind of helped me to be accepted by my peers, and it gave me more confidence to think, oh, I'm good at something here. I have self-worth, even though I wouldn't have used those terms as a child. It's the sort of thing that I thought I'll do this because people say I'm good at it, and then after that I started to like doing it.
Right.
That came later when
Right.
I did it for the enjoyment and to find out what if I use that medium, and what if I draw these lines here and that there and then put that there. Yeah, so the liking for it came a bit later than kind of doing it more out of a necessity, maybe to kind of survive a bit, really, in an environment where, you know, it was kind of a bit tough for me growing up. And then more recently as an adult, so most of my adult life I've worked in local government, and years ago, before now, I was a bit further up the food chain, if you like. And one of the privileges of that was having to go to very long regular meetings, 3 hours plus. And I used to get quite anxious in them as well. There was more responsibility on me to kind of deliver solutions, whatever job I was doing. And so in the long meetings, as well as taking notes, I used to kind of do quite elaborate doodles and marginalia and things like that, just to kind of get me through the meeting and stop me from getting kind of too anxious and getting up and walking out. And yeah, that helped, being able just to kind of focus on doing something else while whoever was speaking.
That's brilliant. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, so I suppose then it was kind of, it served a purpose in reducing anxiety as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Could you tell us about the Snow Dog project?
Oh yes, this is one of probably the best project I've ever been in, I can say, and my first real engagement in a community art project, for want of a better word. So I actually started finding out about projects like this before the Snow Dog project. I became aware that there was a call for artists to paint bear sculptures for Sheffield. There was going to be these big white fiberglass grizzly bears, all positioned at various points around Sheffield, and there was a call for various artists to submit designs for them. But I only found that out with about 2 days to go. So I quickly put something together. I think I painted a robotic bear or something like that, a steampunk bear, I think it was, and I didn't go any further with it. But then I thought, right, I'm aware of these now. They are on my radar. So I'll keep an eye out for them. And then I think a year later, I think it might have been the Creative Kirklees website, had a call out for art. I'm just trying to think, it might have been 2021. I'm thinking, or it might even the back end of 2020, that these snow dogs were coming to Kirklees based on a character from a popular children's book. I think Raymond Briggs's Snowman and the Snow Dog.
Right.
You know, the snowman of Walking in the Air fame, Ali Jones and all that. Although I don't think he was original singer. A bit of trivia for you there. I think it was another child who sung the original. But anyway, so that was the origin of the Snowman and the Snow Dog. So I thought, right, I've got a chance to kind of spread my wings and get involved in a proper community art project, instead of just being holed up in my studio just by myself, painting things for myself. And yes, I came up with my design based on old steam engines. So I had a bit of a liking for all things kind of steampunky and gothic, that sort of appearance, that aesthetic. So I thought, oh well, these sort of things, each snow god sculpture, the organisers, to give a bit of context, these projects are usually where there's a local charity. In our case, it was Kirkwood Hospice, and it's primarily to raise funds for the charity, and in collaboration with the company that make these sculptures, a company called Wild in Art, they put on these events where there's a number of these sculptures around designated area, Kirklees, Sheffield, Liverpool, and for each sculpture they try and attract a local sponsor, a local company or entity. And I thought, thinking about in Huddersfield and Kirklees, there's a good chance if I do one based on railways and steampunk, Huddersfield railway station might take an interest. And so it happened.
Brilliant.
I think the designs had to go through a couple of judging stages, where all the ones that they don't want are all kind of cast aside, and they end up with a smaller number, and then the sponsors come on board and they say, oh yes, we like that one, we like that one. And yes, so I was one of the very lucky ones to get my design chosen.
Brilliant.
I think it's in the is it in the picture behind me? Is it on that side? I think it is. Oh yes,
yes,
on that
it's
side.
on the picture behind.
Yes, so there's
cool.
the Kirklees rocket behind me.
Nice. And a rocket again, spaceship. I know it's a train, but it's like it's a rocket, isn't it?
It's well for that. I thought I'll go back to the name of one of the very first steam trains built. It was Stephenson's rocket. Again,
yes,
linked to where I lived for a while, Darlington. It was tested in the 1800s between Stockton and Darlington, and I think in Darlington they have a railway museum and exhibits dedicated to that. So I thought, oh well, yes, I remember that. So I'll dub mine the Kirklees rocket.
Oh, fabulous!
And it's on the sides. It has all the current working stations of Kirklees. I did originally think, why don't I put on all the ones that have been, closed since the days of Dr. Beeching and things like that. But then when I looked up, I realised that there were just too many.
Yeah, it would be loads.
It would have been just covered in all these old stations, and I thought, no, far better just to include the current ones. And then yes, so after my design was accepted, and then it came round, I think, in the early part of 2022 to start painting them, and Kirkwood Hospice had organised a painting space for the more local artists in what used to be Pound World.
I remember that.
Behind the library. Yeah. So I think I think it hosted quite a few of us local artists and a few more from the wider art community. I think there were 30 of us, and I think of those 30, I think 10 of us were local. I would say local to Kirklees,
right.
and then the rest of them were from the wider British Isles. I mean, there were some of them who were very kind of deadly professional mural artists who did these for a living.
Oh, really?
And then the ones like me for whom it was the first time as well. But yes, it was brilliant. I got to meet other artists. We were painting I was positioned by the window of the ex-Pound World, so there was plenty of people walking past and giving a thumbs up and knocking on the windows and wanting to know what we were doing as well. And then later on, I think at the back end of 2022 came the actual exhibition where they were all put out into the wild of Kirklees, I think from September to November, I think it was, or September, October.
Yeah, I remember them going out. Where was yours then?
Mine was at George's Square outside the railway station.
Oh, right.
By the bus stops where they're currently loading people onto rail replacement
bus stops.
coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing it. I just didn't remember where I saw it.
Oh yes, I've said they all got lots of love and approbation from the people of Kirklees. I think it seemed to be a real kind of boost to the kind of the local kind of look of the place. It kind of brightened up. Lots of people said, "Oh, these really brightened up the town," and the places like Holmfirth and Batley. I think they were in Dewsbury. And then they all got auctioned off, I think, at the back end of 2022.
Wow.
Some of them were bought by the companies that sponsored them. Some of them were bought by private individuals who collect these sculptures. And
they must have a lot of room in their place where they live.
Yes. I think you've got to be quite wealthy to buy these. I think the one that was painted in the Huddersfield town colours, I think that went for £10,000.
Wow.
I think the average price of them, from memory, was between £2,000 to £4,000 each.
Not bad. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous project.
Oh yes, I can't speak highly enough of it. And speaking to the organisers at Kirkwood Hospice, I think it was about 18 months in the planning before it actually came to fruition.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah.
I think they did have to postpone it because of COVID as well. I think
Right.
it would have been out earlier if it hadn't been for COVID.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great thing. And I remember they did a thing where you could get a snow dog and you paint it.
Yes. They had the shop on the piazza. Didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, I got one of those. I painted it. I gave it to one of my friends. Yeah, I remember that snow dog.
Oh yes, it was great.
Cool. So I'm guessing that probably the snow dog will be one of the works that you're most proud of. So the question I was going to ask was, thinking about your finished works of art, can you describe one or two that make you feel most happy, most proud, and why particularly you feel that way? So you can say more obviously about the snow dog or about any other ones.
No, I'll change tack, and I think up to that side behind us is probably my most accomplished and popular piece called The Stars Our Destination.
Love that.
Named after there's a famous science fiction novel from the 1940s and 1950s,
right.
The Stars My Destination. So I thought I'll crib the title
Nice.
from there.
Nice.
And yes, it's I did start that with kind of commercial appeal in mind. I thought, right, I'm going to produce a picture which will have commercial appeal, which I'll be able to do prints and cards from and kind of try and sell it. So I kind of planned this one to the hilt, more or less. Each part of the composition I kind of worked out beforehand. So
How would you do that? How do you work out the composition?
just kind of sort of drawing, various kind of rectangles in my sketchbooks and drawing where the rocket might look, and thinking, or is it too close to one end? Is there too much space at the bottom? Where's this little hill and path going to go? And how will that path look? Should I draw the curve the other way instead? And drawing the cat's three faces as well over and over again, because I thought they're the critical part. They've got to look like cats and not badgers, like someone suggested. No, the cats, definitely cats. And practicing the 5-pointed stars over and over again till I felt I got them right, and the kind of shading from the light blue sky nearer the earth, towards the darker depths of outer space. And was the angle of the rocket right as well. So yes, I thought, well, I'm going to spend some time working this out before I commit it to canvas.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
And so there's not actually much to it. That's the thing. There's not much in it. There's just a bit of hill. There's a few stars. There's the rocket and there's the cats. And it's not that colourful either. But I thought, well, there's just enough colour there for it to work. I've not over-coloured it. I've not put too many clashing colours in. There's probably no more than about 10 or 11 colours in that. And I'm not that confident with using colour in acrylic as well. I'm still learning about colour theory, and in my own palette of colours I've got about 50 or 60 different colours in my racks, but I only use about between 15 and 20 at any time, and I go back to the same colours in the end.
That's so beautiful. Oh, I love the way it's sort of like going into the darkness here, because the white line is disappearing here, which makes it more.
Yes, they are going out into
definitely going.
It was going to be part of a series of pictures that told a story. In fact, that's not even the first piece. There are two pieces preceding that I did, with one of the cats from the rocket watching a cow jumping over a big moon, as in the nursery rhyme. And then later on, I've done a piece with the same cat looking through a homemade telescope at the night sky and thinking, I want to go out into the night sky, I want to explore. And those are the only 3 finished pieces I did of the story. I think I might have done one where they're actually building the rocket, but that never came to fruition. I think that got painted over as well. And I never did finish the story.
Oh, you didn't? No.
No, they were all going to have all sorts of adventures. It was probably going to be quite a sad story, because by the end of the story there was only going to be one of them left.
Oh.
And he was going to pilot the rocket into a black hole
Oh.
to see what was on the other side, you see.
Well, it's quite good you didn't finish it. It made everybody cry.
It's taken a bit of a downturn, hasn't it?
Yeah,
It's quite
really.
grim.
A little bit, yeah, it's a bit on the side.
Maybe not for young kids, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit of the typical Dungeons and Dragons influence creeping in there.
I think there is. But yeah, in terms of appeal, yes, it's very recognisable. You know, people who are fans of my work, they love that, and they all say, "Oh yes, I've seen that, or I've got that," and you know, I've printed it and reprinted it as a card and as a print many times.
Right.
I just need to think of 10 or 11 others to do the same now.
Oh, just. I love your puffin ones as well. And my favourite one, you were puffins, is "We Leave at Dawn." Oh, I love that one.
Oh yes,
I
yes.
love that one. Yeah, I was looking on your Facebook page.
Yes, that was another one where I thought, right, I'm going to make a bit more of a serious fist of this picture as well. So yes, that was also kind of telling a bit of a story. These, I mean, by then I'd done a few puffin pictures. But I thought, right, I'm going to have a little story of these puffins setting sail on a floating ship, you know, off on exploration. I guess exploration might be quite a theme, mightn't it?
Yeah,
part of my work.
exploration, yeah,
And
absolutely.
then there's two kind of waving them off with little white flags
That's
in a
so
sort
cute.
of comical way.
That's so cute. Is that one of your favourites? Because I sort of like rather preempt, because it's supposed to be your favourites, but that's one of my favourites.
Yes, I do. I like my
Yeah.
technique on that. I got a lot of things right about it. There's not much wrong on that one, so I'm very pleased with that one. I'm quite critical of my own work.
Oh, yeah.
There's very few pieces I've done where I'm totally satisfied with it, and I don't, in a couple of months' time, I think, oh, I could have done this better. I could have structured it better. I could have composed it better.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But there's probably about 4 or 5 pieces where I can look at them and think, yes, it came out how it meant to come out, and I'm happy with it. I don't want to change it. So,
Wow, only about 5. That's amazing.
yeah. But I think there are a lot of artists out there who are quite self-critical. You know, I don't think I'm the only one.
Oh no, absolutely not, absolutely. So, where can people see your work?
At the moment, I've got a couple of online profiles. I'm on Facebook, which is probably my primary social media. I've been on there since 2008, and that's the one I kind of devote most time to promoting myself and my art on. I'm on Instagram as well. I used to be on a lot more, but I've gradually whittled them down because they take a lot of effort to maintain. I have 2 outlets now that sell my stuff. There's Crafty Praxis in town, and then there's a shop at Tonbridden called Wonderfully Made, which is very similar to Crafty Praxis, kind of full of art and textiles as well.
It's great, it's Crafty Praxis. And Barham Arcade, isn't it? Barham
Oh
Arcade.
yes, yeah. Oh yes, they've been very good for me of Crafty Praxis.
Yeah, it's great. Just near Calder Graphics.
Yes,
absolutely, Calder
incidentally,
Graphics.
I buy all my art materials. Yeah, so I've been buying from Calder Graphics since my school days.
Really?
Yeah, since
fabulous shop.
I think the late 80s or early 90s. I think I have a memory, or it might be a false memory, that they weren't always in Barham Arcade. I think they were, at one point they were nearer the bus station, around the corner from, is it Nawab Indian restaurant?
Oh,
I think
really?
They were somewhere near there a long while ago. But the Stewart might be, who runs Calder Graphics, he might say, no, we were never there, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't living in Huddersfield at the time, so I don't remember seeing that. But I'll have to ask him sometime.
And yes, I get involved in Home Firth Art Week every year as well. Again, I used to get involved in a lot more local exhibitions, but I've had to whittle them down due to time factors. But I've always kept faith with Home Firth Art Week. Again, they've been very good to me. They've looked after me. I've sold plenty of work there, and I've started appearing on the demonstration stage as well whenever it happens.
Great.
And I also should plug that next year they're coming up to their 60th anniversary.
Oh wow!
So they want everybody to to know about it, including Kirklees local TV.
Oh,
and,
yes.
I'll have to take the cameras there next year. And
oh, fabulous. 60th anniversary. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Oh, cool. So here's a question that I ask everybody, which is, when and where do you paint? And how easy is it for you to stop once you've started?
Stopping once I've started, I've got a lot easier at structuring and planning the progress of my pictures, sort of breaking them down into kind of chunks to I can get that done and get that done.
Oh, right.
And I don't have to worry about the next bit. I can do that another day.
Uh-huh.
Some of that's based on kind of time factors and trying to squeeze it in around kind of my work life and personal life. So as I said before, most of my adult life I've been working, so I always used to be able to kind of do it on an evening, maybe at weekends after I'd come home, done all my chores, and then maybe about 8:30 in the evening I'd get the paints out, or I'd have a whole Saturday or a whole Sunday to paint. I've had a few years where I've been able to do it full time, so I've designated a few days a week just to kind of concentrate on painting, but other things used to bleed through, like the admin side of running a business. The social media side became ever bigger and bigger, and now I'm back in full-time employment again. I'm kind of, I have to squeeze it in, kind of on an evening or on a weekend.
Right, yeah.
Part of my current job is I commute to Sheffield and back on certain days of the week, and that's quite a long journey, so I have a little sketchbook in my coat pocket, and I spend most of that journey there and back kind of doodling and working out ideas again that I've had in my head for ages. I'm thinking, how would they look? I've got a composition at the moment where I'm trying to work out how to represent a sloping cobbled road. And I'm thinking, well, how would that look? And drawing it over and over again and working out the small details of it. So yes, I try and sort of fit it in when I'm travelling. I know it's going to be a long journey, I think I need something to take my mind off this journey.
That's perfect, isn't it? Because, commuting, it actually gives you that time that you wouldn't have if you were working locally. Because you probably wouldn't, be able to allocate that sort of time. You get busy doing something else.
No. Maybe do a little surreptitious drawing when I'm in meetings as well. So I'll just doodle this. I'll work out this idea while I'm listening to somebody waffle on.
Yeah, why not? It keeps you happy. Brilliant. So, in terms of your personal identity and your sense of who you are, how important to you is being an artist?
I would say very important. It's kind of what primarily makes me me, and I know that probably sounds like a bit of a vague statement. It's how I want to express myself. It's how I kind of want to be remembered for, I guess. It's kind of part of my, again, it sounds a bit of a vague term, my essence, of who I am. It's how I've developed, and it's an expression of what's going on in my head, and this conduit of my arm, it's how I get from what's in there and what I see and hear around me to what's there on the page or on the canvas.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say that out of the people that I've spoken to, you're one person who really seems like they are like thorough, in the DNA, artist.
Yes, I think it is, and as far as I know, there's nobody creative in me past, in my ancestors. There's going back to like reference on the people, there's a musician I admire, for several years, and I saw in an interview someone did with him. The interviewer asked him, where do you get your talent? Does it come from your family or what? And this chap said, well, he says, I think we're born with aptitudes within us, and some of us are lucky enough to realise what they are from an early age and work on them and develop them and make them successful. Some people realise them in later life, built up from their experiences of life, and lots of us, sad to say we don't realise them at all, that there's something good, you know, we might have been good at, and we've never had a chance to explore it or recognise it. So yeah, I kind of believe that, you know, we have these aptitudes in us. I believe that a lot more of us are creative than we realise. You know, I get people saying to me, "Oh, that's great, I could never draw like that," and I think you probably could. If you had a bit of willpower just to sit down, and because it does take a bit of willpower and discipline, you know, all these ideas, you know, at some point they need to come out, and you need to devote a bit of time to it, to explore it. As well as drawing and painting, I used to write fictional stories. I used to play in bands as well, so I have I must have a bit of a skein of creativity in me. Those have kind of fallen by the wayside over the years, but the art has always stuck with me.
Brilliant, brilliant. So this question is the final one that I always ask everybody, and you know, most people have already answered it already, but it's for summing up, and that's very difficult because it's like you've been describing why you paint, why you draw, and what you get out of it all the way, you know, a lot of the time everyone does. How would you sum up? Why do you draw and why do you paint? Why do you create art?
It's quite a hard question to answer that and articulate it, because I feel why in my head and inside me, but actually saying it out loud as to why I do it's quite hard. I think it's to feel a sense, for me, to feel a sense of purpose, of achievement. You know, I've created something which looks good, and you know, I feel proud of that. I think I've always had, you know, from an early age, I've wanted to achieve stuff, not big world beating stuff, but you know, I wanted to achieve something. I wanted to create things that make me feel good about myself, to make me feel confident and relaxed about myself, and thinking, yes, I can do this. So yeah, there's for me a sense of purpose in attempting to do it and doing it, and you know, achieving something from it. I guess if I didn't do this, I would do, referencing my previous answer, I would do something creative. I'd probably go back to writing or something, because I always used to like creating stories as well. Yeah, and then going back years ago, I used to submit, you know, fictional stories up to publishers and get rejection letters and all sorts. But yeah, it makes me feel good. Doing this. That's how I can kind of pare it down into a couple of words.
Absolutely.
It makes me feel good about myself, and I like others to take pleasure from it as well, you know, because that's, you know, a lot of artists, they want the work to be seen, they want the work to be oohed and ahed over, and you know, I can't think of many who just want to draw and then hide it away for no one to see. So it's kind of, you know, I'm one of those who are seeking some kind of affirmation for my existence. Ooh, we're going into very philosophical areas now. My existence and why I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here because I've got this itch inside me that needs to be scratched, and here are the results.
It's fabulous and brings joy to so many people as well.
Yes, there is, and I'm very glad of that. You know, that's when you get to that stage where there's not just your mum or your friends or family saying, "Oh, that's good," but total strangers are coming up to you and saying, "Oh, that's brilliant," and you know, they're prepared to put their hands in their pockets and buy something. Then it's, you know, it never fails to kind of get me. You know, and I feel very pleased with myself. Yes, and pleased for them too.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great, that's lovely.
Thank you.
So thank you, Chris, for joining us today on the Art Down. It's all over so quickly. Yeah, it's been great having you on the show.
No, thank you very much for having me.
It's been really great, inspiring listening to you.
No, great. Yeah, thank you.
Super. Wish you all the best for the future.
No, thank you very much.
Great. And to you, the audience, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to Kirklees Local TV on YouTube to get our latest videos first. And we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.